Yes, sir. You already know what time it is, man. We're back here to serve some more game on the ground for them hungry hounds. So just got the pound and are ready for the next round. So with that being said, make sure y'all grab your snacks, y'all drinks, y'all weed, whatever the fuck the case may be, and we finna jump right into this shit, man. You guys can see the topic of this episode, this title, this live, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Candace Owens speaks on the recent Tate brothers raid. Now they talked about possibly getting raided again. Uh, from what I understand, he said he criticized. I think he criticized Israel about the government as far as what they're doing and how their bombings are killing innocent civilians and whatnot. And then after that happened, they got raided again. So I don't know if it was because of that reason or if it was just coincidental timing or what. But they got raided again by the feds, the police, the DICOT, whatever the fuck you want to call it. So we are here to check out what your girl Candace Owens has to say about it and see what she thinks is going on. So with that being said, let me go ahead and get this shit pulled up real quick. Go ahead and get this shit pulled out. Bam, bing, bang, and boom. Just like that. What it do, man. Just in time, we better start. So with that being said, man, we're gonna go ahead and jump right into this shit. I've got my snack right here, some good old Taco Bell. Yes, sir. Some good old Taco Bell. All right, we're gonna jump into this shit, man. In 3, 2, 1, let's get it.
And guys, we have a lot going on today. First and foremost, Bill Maher, he got into a little bit of hot water. Apparently, he is speaking to young children about pornography. Is that appropriate? Is that not appropriate? I'm going to let you guys watch the clip and then decide yourselves. In higher news, we have Donald Trump on cocaine. I mean, like on the subject of cocaine, obviously. He completely knocked it out of the park when in an interview with Theo Vaughn. You guys are familiar with him. He has a great podcast. Trump sat down with him. I think brilliant move for the campaign. And they had a discussion about cocaine, which is trending. But first, I was going to announce to you guys that both of our Tate brother interviews, which aired last week, are past 1 million views because people really enjoyed that conversation. But guess what? I got to talk about something else because it turns out that this morning, the Tate brothers, Tristan and Andrew Tate, had their home raided again, for the exact same suspicions as the first time. They're looking for evidence of human sex trafficking and money laundering. And today I have an exclusive for you. So let's get started. Welcome to Candace.
Bro, you can't make this shit up, bro. Like, you tried once before. You didn't find anything. Just fucking let it go. But it's the Matrix. They're going to do whatever they can. They're going to try and do whatever they can throughout each step of the 3 phases. First one, cancel you. That doesn't work. Second one, arrest you. Fucking put you behind bars so you're quiet. Third one, if that doesn't work, and fucking kill you. And they're trying everything they possibly can to censor them, to make them go away and whatnot. And it's not going to work because at the end of the day, people like the Tate brothers don't go down that easy. That's 100% facts.
With the actual facts. So masked police officers in Romania carried out fresh raids early Wednesday morning, early today, at the home of internet influencer Andrew Tate and his brother. Now, they are currently awaiting trial. When I say awaiting trial, I mean they just keep waiting to be handed a trial date. They want to go to trial for the charges that have taken forever to even bring against them. To jog your memory, they were first arrested on a suspicion. In some countries, you can just arrest people without any charges, and they were held in a cell, not told when they were going to ever get out, or if they were ever going to get out, or if there were ever going to be charges brought against them. I think that's actually what drew in a lot of you to the conversation with Tristan Tate, him talking about the mental state, what it actually took for him to be in this small cell with cockroaches, and you literally can't even leave the cell. How do you get your mindset through that, not knowing if you're ever going to be allowed to leave the building? So he spoke about that sort of mental fortitude. And then after 3 months, they released them and put them onto house arrest. Still no charges brought against them until I think it was about 4 months later, they brought charges against them for human sex trafficking. And when I looked into the charges, I'm going to state this again. I have always been forthcoming with you about the fact that I have known Andrew Tate. I met him around the same time that I met my husband. Through my husband, he has always been friendly with me. So there does exist this pre-existing relationship. I had met him 2 times prior to me having interviewed him sometime last year on my old podcast, and he's always been friendly to me. So I just want to put that out there because I believe in radical honesty all the time. So essentially, I looked into that case because everyone was going, Candace, this guy's a human sex trafficker, and I would never, of course, endorse that. They said he was involved in the pornography business or webcam business 10 years ago. You're against pornography. Everybody knows I'm against pornography. It is not a business that he is in today. I am also against people thinking that people can't change. So I looked into this case because I wanted to come out and say, hey, I'm really sorry. If this guy is involved in sex trafficking in Romania, I will apologize to my audiences and I will delete his number from my phone. And I looked into the case, and what I saw was something that was horrific. And it wasn't because Andrew Tate and Tristan Tate, in my opinion, were sex trafficking.
He said, Sound of Freedom is working on a new movie to follow up called City of Dreams, continuing to tell the story of child trafficking. Vivek is an executive producer for it. Word? Hey, I see you, Vivek. Let's fucking get it, man. Drops this month, I believe. Shit, that would fucking be badass to go watch. I mean, not necessarily badass, but, you know, continuing the story of busting pedophiles, that's fucking badass. We got to get them hoes out of here because they're fucking disgusting.
But because it looked to me to be a tremendous intentional miscarriage of justice. I'm going to spare you the deep details here. I'm going to try to move through this quickly, but essentially, this case was brought about because
So I'll be at the movies to watch. Man, that's 100% fact. You ain't even lying about that.
Young woman got a flight paid for her by the Tate brothers to Romania. She wanted to go. She asked to go. And when she got there, she got bored. There was nothing for her to do. And I know this because her actual text messages are in the file. She starts texting with another man, and this man happened to have connections to the military or the state some way or another. And she's trying to get him to pay for a flight for her to go somewhere else on vacation. And so her and her friend begin texting, and they start laughing with one another, saying, like, what if we just make up that we're being sex trafficked? I've read these text messages. I am telling you.
That's fucking crazy right there. Like, I mean, hold up, y'all. Like, there we go. Now, we all knew the original story as to what led to them being accused of this shit, which was some stupid bitch who got flown out there and then got bored. So she decided, you know, I'm going to do this. But it's the fact that these hoes decided to do this shit on a whim. Like, that's what's fucking crazy, bro. The fact that these hoes decide to do this shit on a whim when they're bored. And they have no consequences that follow it. You are tarnishing a man's image, his name, his reputation, his word. You're tarnishing everything about another man whenever you make false accusations like this. And you don't give a fuck. They do it so heartlessly. And this is why there needs to be consequences and repercussions for people who falsely accuse others of any type of crime or sexual crime or trafficking crimes or whatever the fucking case may be. There needs to be repercussion. These bitches need to be held accountable. Any dude that does that shit too needs to be held accountable. But I don't know a dude who's falsely accusing anybody else of raping them unless it was a fucking gay dude that raped them. I don't know, dude, but it just accountability needs to be brought back within the courthouses, the justice system. That's where it needs to be brought back at. Because it is lacking horribly right now.
It was horrific to read through these 2 women laughing about pretending to be abused. So she says something along those lines to the guy that she's trying to get to fly her out of Romania, and he takes it seriously. He's very alarmed. He's not just going to book her a ticket. He's going to alert the authorities that this woman he believes is being sex trafficked. So he does that, and the authorities swoop in. They raid their compound while the girl is there. And as they are raiding, she is texting this guy, this would-be second guy who's supposed to pay for her to go on a flight somewhere else. And she says to him, like, what are you doing? Oh my gosh, you're ruining my life. How could you have done this? Like, you were just supposed to, and I'm being dramatic here, you were just supposed to buy me a free ticket somewhere else. I can't believe you alerted the authorities to something that I was just saying because I kind of wanted to go on another free vacation. I'm giving you kind of a very quick synopsis, but I'm telling you, I looked into this case and that is what I found. And I was looking into it, particularly because it said that Andrew Tate had 4 women that were listed in this case. So I said, okay, maybe she started it. Maybe she's patient 0, right? But the facts are there were 4 women listed. Then what happened was 2 of the women that were other women that were listed said, we are not victims. And they produced videos and recordings saying that they were being drafted into this case for no reason and they were not victims. And then it happened again. Another woman withdrew herself from the case. So that's 3 women total who were put down as victims in this case who said, we are not victims. And it turned out that tons of other women who had nothing to do with anything, spanning all the way from the UK to Romania, were similarly receiving phone calls from Romania, receiving phone calls from authorities saying, hey, we need to speak to you, and asking them whether or not they were sex trafficked. So they are looking for the victims for this case. Now, what about victim 0, the one who started all of this? Well, let me ask you a question. Again, I like to go with common sense. If you were a sex trafficker and you got caught and you actually did this to this woman, would you sue her? Because that's what the Tate brothers did. It was recently announced a couple of weeks ago that a judge in the United States, in the state of Florida, ruled on July 24th that a defamation lawsuit filed by Andrew Tate against a Florida woman, that is the victim 0, who accused him of imprisoning her in Romania, can go to trial. The judge ruled that the former professional kickboxer, who's 37 years old, and his brother Tristan, 36, can present their allegations to a jury that the woman in 2022 engaged in a plot to extort money from them. The British American brothers say the woman falsely accused them of human trafficking and rape, costing them their freedom and millions of dollars in income from their social media ventures. So let's just pause there again, because forget what you're reading in the media. What does your common sense tell you? Okay. She is, again,
common sense tells me that bitches are hoes and you got to stay away from them. Bitches are hoes and you got to stay away from them. Because shit like this will happen when a bitch gets jealous. She's going to start slandering your name and this and that and the other third. You got to fuck with the real women. Don't fuck with the hoes, man. It's getting to the point to where men got to start fucking with the real women. Staying to themselves. Whenever they come across real women, fuck with the real women, but fuck the hoes, boy. Let the hoes self-destruct. You got too much going on for yourself as a man to be getting caught up in bullshit like this. That's what common sense tells me now.
Victim 0. They are now suing her because she is an American in a Florida court, bringing forth all of those documents that I was telling you about that show that she was very much, in my view, involved in a plot that just went sideways. She wasn't even really, in my view, trying to take down the Tate brothers. She was in a plot to just get a free trip, as young girls want to do sometimes. And she's got a very murky and a questionable background, and it's good. I'm happy that that case is going to go forward in Florida. I am happy and hopeful that much of this information will be publicized in the way that it should be. And I am disgusted that the mainstream media will not report on this case as it is, in the way that I have, and I've received tons of flack for it, and yet no one has been able to present to me a counterfact. They just keep showing me old videos of Andrew Tate looking like he's 19 years old, okay, saying rude stuff on the internet. And yes,
yeah, social media won't fucking report on it because they don't like the Tate brothers. They don't support them. They go against what the media wants to show. So of course you're not gonna fucking report on it. They're part of the Matrix. And then you receive flack from fucking faggots who sit around and, oh, Kamala Harris for president looking ass. Come on now, you can't make this shit up. He said. Makes men just want to avoid women altogether unless a real one approaches, because they are detonators for senseless bullshit. Hope FedEx never goes through this. Yeah, you ain't even lying there. When you see shit like this, I know it definitely turned me off of women for a while. I just started, like not giving a fuck about getting with females and shit like that for a while when I started hearing about all this shit. But whenever you start, getting around women, understanding that it's not all women that are like that, you just got to find the real ones. Then you're like, oh, okay, well, not all women are pieces of shit. You just got to assess which ones are which. And you do so by certain things that will register in your mind that will tell you whether or not a bitch is a whore or if it's an actual woman. You said Lil Jon really performed for Kamala Harris. Wow, crazy. I'll get arrested at the police house. It's internet hoes that are the worst. He said Lil Jon really performed for Kamala. You lying to me, boy. Ain't no way. Ain't no fucking way. Crazy they all get arrested after criticizing Israel. It's the internet hoes that are the worst. You ain't even lying. I mean, hey, Eminem said it perfectly. He said nowadays some guys they just clout chase, and they want to be special. They want to get attention, and so what they do is they go and get BBLs and shit. And whenever they do, they start getting attention from every single guy, not just the ones that they're looking at, but other guys. And they start, ooh, you're a freak, you're this, you're that, whatever. And he said nowadays some guys they just clout chase, and that's 100% facts. He wasn't even lying. I guarantee you, Eminem has had some bitch try to say that he did this and did that to him. I guarantee you, he's had some bitch that try to do that shit against him. Said he did. That's why Scripture says what it says about women in judgment. That's 100% facts. Almost like they're trying to animalize men, real men. Well, see, that's the thing is that Satan knows. Here's the thing, right? Satan used Eve against Adam in the beginning. Eve, who's a woman, against Adam, who's a man, in the beginning. So he knows he can use women to trick men into falling, into staying down and whatnot. So why wouldn't he still do that to this day? A man's biggest weakness on this earth is a woman, is a female, because they know that lust is very strong. Now, with that being said, lust is also the same sin that God says to run from and not fight. Satan knows how strong a man's lust is and knows that God tells men to run from their lust. So he's like, okay, well, I'm going to use lust. This is what I'm going to do with most of the women these days in modern society. I'm going to sexualize them. I'm going to make men go fucking crazy. That's what it is. I mean, it was just like Sodom and Gomorrah back then. Everybody was fucking each other, men and women, men and men, women and women, all types of shit. That's why God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah, because of all the shit they were doing. Think about it like this. America is doing the same shit that Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed for doing. Now, when you think about that for a second, that shit blows your fucking mind. America is on the same shit that Sodom and Gomorrah got destroyed for doing. That's wild.
This stuff is rude. I don't condone it. I questioned him about that stuff when I interviewed him on my last podcast. Everybody knows where I stand on the topic of webcam businesses and pornography. I don't like any of it. But just because I don't like his past does not mean that I could ever condone locking up somebody for the rest of their lives for something that they didn't do. This is when you start to see the right behave like leftists. It's like when you look at the Donald Trump case and it's because we just don't like him. Find something in his past that we can just lock him down for. Stormy Daniels, that's a thing. Let's take it to the extreme. Who's the crazy woman, Carol, whatever her name was, who said something happened in 94 with Trump and no, there were no witnesses, but who cares? We're going to sue him for hundreds of millions of dollars that the woman didn't even ask for because we don't like Trump. That is what it feels like to me. And it's even...
Who's that one guy that was I think he was running for what, Attorney General, some shit. I don't remember his name. But this was back in I want to say maybe 2019, early 2020. Might have been earlier than that. But he had this one bitch try to say, and the reason why this shit happened is because he was against the Matrix, and he wasn't controlled by them. He didn't like him. He was going to be appointed by Trump to be the some type of like attorney general or some shit. I can't remember what the fuck it was. I feel like it was a long ass time ago. But they had this. He went to fucking court because this bitch said that he raped her at a fucking party and got her drunk and drugged her and did this and did that and fucking asked her how many beers she had. She said she doesn't remember. They asked her what time it was. She said she didn't remember. They asked her where it was. She said she didn't remember. She just knows that he raped her. That's the type of shit that they be on. And it's fucking stupid as hell.
Been crazier because while they were waiting for this trial to be brought forward, because they're feeling confident about what is happening in Bucharest, they're feeling confident that they are going to be proven innocent. Suddenly, knock, knock, the UK's calling because they're opening up the file again. And they're saying, actually, we have warrants for you as well. We want to extradite them from Romania to the UK regarding a case, I kid you not.
I don't remember if his name is William Barr or something else. I don't think it was William Barr. Could be wrong, but I don't think that was his name. I can't remember his fucking name, man. I have to ask somebody else who knows.
Dating back to 2012. The Brits are requesting to extradite the Tates to the UK regarding legal proceedings that they say pertain to a case dating back to 2012. So I will ask the question. I haven't looked into that case. I'll be honest. I deep dove into the Bucharest case because after I interviewed him in Bucharest, the internet was telling me he was guilty already. And I was crazy. And I looked into it and I said, this is crap. I haven't looked into the UK case, but I'm going to ask you the question that do you think that they are being pursued on the basis that the UK really did say, like, you know what, 12 years ago, I just need to understand what is going on with these brothers. Do you believe that they are villains, the worldwide villains that the media is presenting? And I'm asking you this now, knowing that many of you, millions of you, watched my interview with Andrew Tate. I'm going to even show you how they raided his compound last night. I want you to see the police raiding their compound. Take a look at this. And for those of you that are listening on the podcast, yes, they are climbing on to the roof to break in, climbing onto the roof. So again, look at this, knocking into the compound, just going, how can we get into this fortress? We need to raid this place because human sex trafficking, which we should have already had the evidence on the basis of the other 2 times that we raided the compound, well, we need to look for even more evidence. It's got to be in here somewhere, right? Again, still no trial.
The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome. And right now, the government over there is the best definition of insanity, raiding their fucking house over, excuse me, and over again, thinking they're going to find some shit that they already looked for twice in the past and didn't fucking find. You can't make this shit up. Fucking horse.
I'm wondering why this trial, which is receiving so much global attention, won't even begin. It's been going on for years. This doesn't make sense to me, okay? And it doesn't make sense to me because I am aware of all of the many people in the world who have not had their homes raided, who were able to have virtually secret trials take place. I'm speaking about, among one person, Jeffrey Epstein, right? Where were all of these raids and wall-to-wall coverage on Jeffrey Epstein, somebody that was actually a part of a human sex trafficking ring? And on the topic of human sex trafficking, since everyone seems to care so much when it comes to Tristan and Andrew Tate, I will ask the question, where's the pro-war lobby at? People are telling us to go never-ending war. They never ask questions about what's happening to all the children. You remember Tristan Tate, you will recall in our interview, asked the question, did you know that tens of thousands of Ukrainian children are missing? Does anybody care about the hundreds of thousands of American children that are missing? No. The only human sex trafficking that matters is when it's Andrew and Tristan Tate. Have you ever seen any of the pornographers, the people that are making billions off of pornography, get arrested? Because we know for a fact that those websites are trafficking or are using trafficked women. You ever seen them crack down any of those pornographers? Why haven't they done that? So you want me to believe, you want me to essentially just, I guess, defy all of my sensibility for a moment and believe that it's Andrew and Tristan Tate that require cooperation between 2 and maybe even 3 European countries to bring them down because they are just so concerned about what these men plausibly did back in 2012. You want me to believe that? Do you believe that is the question? Because we're now living in a post-media world, right? We know that the media is never telling us the truth about anything. We know that the media decides who the people are that they want to go after. Show me the man, and then I will show you the crime. And I can tell you that regarding their Bucharest case, their case in Romania, it is very much that circumstance on the basis of everything that I have meticulously crawled through. Now, I will tell you what both Andrew and Tristan have tweeted since they've been raided. Andrew tweeted this first: "No Zionists. I am not sorry. Hashtag free Gaza." The implication there being that he thinks that it's because he has taken a stance against Israel's crimes against Gaza. He also tweeted this: 9 hours into the house search, and an armed police officer looks at me apologetically and shrugs his shoulders. He said, quote, "You've made somebody very angry." 9 hours. Sounds to me like they maybe are coming up empty. And Tristan tweeted this: "They are desperate, and I am unafraid of them. The truth will come out, and I look forward to exposing what is happening to me and my brother." And I'm going to show you this clip of the two of them. You may not be able to hear it too well on audio, walking out, I think, just because they were going down to the station to see what, if any, charges were being brought against them. My understanding is that they were not arrested, but perhaps they're being detained for a bit. Here is the two brothers walking out.
Are you going to put me in jail except to give me a trial? No trial, no judge, just jail. Are you ready to stay or get in jail? 2 years, no victims, no pictures of victims, and then the case falls apart, and it happens again. It seems the matrix is very angry at me. What I've done wrong, who knows? But certainly not. No, it doesn't matter. You know, anyone with a brain understands what's happening.
I am watching this case very closely. I do want to understand what it is, because it does seem, as Andrew and Tristan often say, that the Matrix is attacking them for a variety of reasons. It's not on the basis of reality. It's on the basis that they believe that these...
Man, it's such bullshit. Such fucking bullshit, man. Society can never have anything good. And this is the reason why. Because they don't want us to have anything good.
Two criminals are essentially El Chapo, needing to be brought down, running an industry so big and so awful that it's going to require cooperation across states to bring them down. That's clearly not the circumstance. It's something else. And I think part of it is because the Tate brothers have seized, as I said, and as I've learned from Dave Smith, the populist right. I think they view that as an intrinsic threat to the establishment. He talked a lot in our interview about globo homo, as he termed it. You know, this sort of global initiative to make everybody a homosexual. And you have a couple of guys who are seizing young men who want to fight, who want to feel a fire in their belly, who believe that they have a sense of purpose. And on that note, for those of you that have not been able yet to watch the interview that we published with the Tate brothers at the end of last week, I'm going to show you a 1-minute clip of me just asking both of them at different times what their advice would be. So we will begin with Tristan Tate's advice to young men. Take a listen.
And what I would say masculinity is, to get back to your question, is very simple. I think it's the mastery of your own emotions and the necessity and the desire to do what's needed to be done, even if it goes against your instincts. So that's all that masculinity is. Again, this I'm cutting back to what I said 45 minutes ago. The willingness to fight is more important than the ability to fight. You would rather have an untrained man who can't fight be happy to go downstairs and face the burglars with his wife upstairs than a jiu-jitsu expert who shit his pants.
Right.
You know, it's the ability to override reason and say, I need to do this because I need to do this. There was a time when I was in prison and my lawyers had spoken to Andrew on the phone. I famously didn't make a single phone call. throughout my entire.
A single phone call.
Not a single phone call. Nope.
Wow, you really are built different.
I am built different. And there was a conversation with my lawyers about, well, this isn't really about Tristan. He's in jail for being your brother. It's not really about him that much. They know this is bullshit. So what we're going to do is we're going to push for a release of Tristan, and we think we'll be able to get that done, and then we'll push for your release later. And when I heard that, I was furious. So natural human emotion and reasoning for myself, self-preservation, is I want to get out of jail, naturally. And I did want to get out of jail. But I said to the officer in charge, I'm not going to say his name, but it's a guy who I spoke to while I was in jail. He was the officer. I said, look, I like you, and you're my favorite police officer that's here. So if they try to take me out of here without Andrew, you're the one I'm going to punch. I'm going to punch you and get assaulting a police officer and get thrown back in here. I'm not going to hit you that hard, but I'm warning you in advance because I like you. You're the one I'm going to strike. So good luck taking me out of jail. I'm happy to override my natural instincts for survival, self-preservation, to do the things that I think need to be done for the people I care about and for the people I love. And I think that's what masculinity is. Not everyone needs to be a 6'4", 240-pound, muscular-bound kickboxer who's handsome and charming and rich and dresses well. But no, that's not what masculinity is. It's not, it's belittled by people like Piers Morgan saying, oh, Andrew, you just stick a cigar in your mouth and pump up your muscles and think that's what. No. Masculinity is much, much more than just that. That speaks to the fact that I can do the things I need to do to be a masculine man. However, I would much rather be willing than capable. If I could switch willingness, if I had to choose willingness or capability, I choose willingness every single time.
Very much.
Well said, man. Well fucking said. Oftentimes you'll find that people nowadays, they when they get themselves into a sticky situation or a bad situation, whatever the fuck you want to call it, be stuck between a rock and a hard spot. If one of their homeboys gets stuck and then they get stuck with them, and they have the opportunity to get out before the both of them can, then the sad thing is they're gonna take it because they're fucking pussies and they don't know how to stick together like fucking white on paper. Because there's no loyalty no more. There really isn't. And it shows. It shows. I think that's another reason why the Matrix hates Andrew and Tristan, is because they can't be pitted against each other. They can't be fucking broken up. They can't be separated. They can't be segregated. Not mentally, not emotionally, not spiritually. They're riding with each other all the way to the fucking grave, and that's why they don't like it, because they're a perfect example of unity, and other people, the common people see that, they're going to start thinking that maybe we should all be unified too. And if we get unified, well, then we can all work together towards a common goal, which the common goal would be freedom. And then whenever they start doing that, then the government gets overthrown, and that's why they don't like them. That's why they don't like them. Not the main reason why, but one. That's what I think. They're gonna be in there saying the Rush Hour plot again. Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, man. They're gonna be in there saying the Rush Hour plot again. Talking about I don't even remember what the fuck the Rush Hour plot is, but it was somebody that held drugs or trafficked drugs or held money or some shit, laundered money. I don't know. He said, hopefully they're released tomorrow. Yeah, hopefully they're fucking released tomorrow, man. Hopefully. But we'll see. We'll see. Just the Matrix. They might not let them off that easy again.
Much agree with that. And
they might even use this as an excuse for them breaking their fucking what did they get let off on? Was it parole, probation? What? I don't know. Or was it even any of those two things? Or were they just told don't leave the fucking country? They might use that as an excuse to say, oh, well, you broke what we told you and this and that, so now you got to go back to jail. I don't know. They might not. Who knows? It's the fucking Matrix. They'll pull anything out their fucking ass.
We are now living in a circumstance where men are cowards. I've been saying this for a very long time. I was trending over the weekend speaking about how we have people in the media who won't even stand up against pedophilia. Men that won't stand up against pedophilia because they're worried about losing their station in life if they offend the wrong people. That's pathetic. And so here is what Andrew Tate had to say as a word of advice to men.
The reason they're a coward in the first place is because they're afraid of confrontation. But I want everyone at home to understand, especially if you're a man, that confrontation is certain and it's always going to be around. If you're a king, there's never been a point in human history where you were a king with an empire where people were not trying to take your empire from you. And if you're not a king with an empire, then you're a pawn in somebody else's empire and you're going to have your head chopped off for some reason anyway. Confrontation is certain. If you try to avoid confrontation, you're going to end up in confrontation with yourself. The reason these straight homos are so desperately sad, the reason they have ADHD and anxiety and depression, the reason they're sitting at home, even if they don't admit to these ailments, wondering why they're so unhappy all the time, is because you're fighting an internal battle. Your monologue is different in your mind from what your spirit truly wants. You want to be respected. You want to be strong. You want to stand up for what you know is right. You want to be a man, and you're just too afraid to engage the enemy. So you're going to self-destruct. You're going to turn on yourself. There's a fire inside of you. There's a fire inside of absolutely every man, and you can either direct it at your enemy and do your very best to destroy.
They may try to end their lives. Candace, like she a woman, that's mainly the reason she can spell carelessly the way she does, seemingly without consequence. Yeah, because it just sucks, seeing fucking double standards to the max. It's fucking garbage, but at least Candace is on the right side for now. I say for now because who knows? Anything can happen, but I don't know. Anything can happen. Anything's a possibility. She could somehow later on down the line switch sides, or could be cloned and then fucking killed, and then her clone be used. I don't know. There's all types of different fucking possibilities that can happen. As far as the Matrix is concerned, nothing is impossible. But we'll say for right now, she's on the good side. And that's how you got to look at it with everybody who's a public figure. Right now, they're on the good side. Right now.
Destroy him, or it's going to burn inside of you and eat you alive. You have to make a choice. The cowardice that you feel that prevents you from engaging the enemy is the biggest betrayal, because now you're just engaging yourself. The battle's certain either way. So I strongly recommend you find who the enemy is and direct your efforts towards their destruction, as opposed to sitting there allowing yourself to self-immolate.
Couldn't agree more. And I hope that everybody goes and finds both of the interviews in their entirety. And I think it will help you understand, despite what you're being told by the media, why it is that they just seem to keep going after these two brothers. It defies common sense when you understand what's happening in this world, when you understand what's happening at our border, when you understand the network of pedophiles that are in power, when you understand how the mainstream media works overtime to defend and protect those pedophiles. It boggles the mind that there would be this much effort and coordination to take down the Tate brothers, because some people don't like what they say on the internet. The Romanian case against them has been bogus for a very long time. And as I have said, I believe that in the end, in Romania, they will prevail. We'll continue to follow it, you guys.
That's 100% facts. That's 100% facts. On this topic, Candace is speaking facts. A lot of times she'll sit around and go off topic, or she'll talk about the same shit over and over again, which sometimes it's just like, bruh. But she's speaking facts here. It's good to know that she's defending the good guys right now. I don't know. It's just something that you see celebrities. They might be on the good side. They might be supporting the good people and whatnot. And then next thing you know, they go off the deep end sometimes. I don't know. It's just anything is possible. Anything is possible. So it's good to know that Candace is on the good side for now. And she's defending the good people. Andrew and Tristan have no reason to be arrested. They have no reason to be held. They have no reason to be detained. I know they haven't done anything, because if they did, real evidence would have been brought out by now, a long ass time ago, when they first raided the house, when that stupid bitch lied the first time. There would have been some evidence that was brought out, but there's not. There won't be. I don't think there ever will be, because it's not true. The only time that there ever will be evidence that comes out that they were human trafficking is if it's forged evidence. That's just how it is. And the sad part is, allegedly the FBI are looking into her now as well. Into who? Candace, or the bitch that lied? She getting lied. The Matrix is desperate. Okay, so you're talking about Candace, yeah. But no, man, it's that they can't stand people who don't back down. They can't stand people that don't back down. So they start getting desperate. They start getting, coming up with plan A and plan B and plan C, the 3 steps, and that doesn't work. The next thing you know, it's going to be, the first 2 don't work. They're going to go to plan C, which is to kill you. So who knows? They might try and do it sooner than we think with Andrew and Tristan, or they might not, or they might continue down the road of plan B for a while longer. Who knows? But what I do know is I'm fixing to get up off of here on YouTube, and I'm going to be going live on TikTok in a little while. So if you guys are interested in watching and listening to the Keishas get fucking booted out left and right over there from saying stupid shit, go ahead and head on over there to TikTok, and I'll see y'all over there. With that being said, make sure you share with your friends, our families, mummies, aunties, grannies, and everybody else you'll know. I'm going to go ahead and get this outro up, and we're going to get the fuck out.
It was a fun tour, going out here and all this shit, all over fucking USA, and I'm done with all this shit. I'm cool off all this fucking talking shit. I got a whole team to represent. I don't want to do none of this. I never did want to do any of it. Fuck this nigga and fuck his team, bro. I'm out. I gotta go. Square up with yourself, motherfucker.